sense means, fear of God means to honor, respect, reverence, have regard for, put at the center of your life, to believe His word, and by His grace obey His law. Fear of God means to seek Him, to think of Him all the time, to acknowledge Him in everything we do. When you have that kind of fear of God, when you have godly fear, regard for God, respect, reverence, then you need not fear anything else. The answer to worldly fear is to properly fear God. I remember one of my favorite episodes of Andy Griffith, The Gospel According to Andy, where some fellows, they were actually bank robbers, but they posed as FBI agents, came into Mayberry and told the mayor, you may remember this one, George, told the mayor that they were giving an award to the sheriff's department for having the lowest crime rate in the nation. Now, of course, Barney was all for this. But Andy, being the humble Christian that he was, said, I don't deserve an award for this low crime rate in Mayberry. We're just lucky. Barney and I here are just lucky to live in a community of decent, God-fearing people. Of course, Barney wanted to take credit for it. But Andy said they were blessed to be in Mayberry, a town full of decent, God-fearing people. Because they were God-fearing, they were law-abiding and decent and all the other things we see in Mayberry. So that kind of fear is good. It's good to fear God, the Creator. When you know and believe the Lord who created the universe, the Lord of our Bible who created you and me, when you are in awe of that God, that's what fear really is. It isn't being frightened and running under the table. It's a kind of awe. When you've met a great person, and you just feel awe, you feel respect and regard for a great person. That's what we should feel, much more so to God. When He saved you, and He loves you through Christ, the God who cares for you and protects you, who is always there for you, perfect Father. When you know that you're in His providence, in His plan for your life and all life, all history, when you have that regard for God in those aspects, you need not fear anything else. You need not fear the world or the devil. Your confidence is in God's goodness and will, not in any person or place or institution, but in God. You fear God as the sovereign ruler of the universe, over everything. So if you regard Him, you needn't fear the government, you needn't fear your boss, you needn't fear the preacher. You don't have to fear anyone if you fear God. Then you can rest secure in the truth of God. And you can trust God even in the most frightening circumstances. We know the peace that God gives to the saints who are like that, who even in terrifying circumstances are not afraid because they're trusting in God. Something bad may happen to you, but God is in control ultimately. Even if you die, you'll be with Him in heaven if you're saved. My great-grandfather, Charles Sheldon, who wrote the book In His Steps, apparently was like that. I didn't know him, but my father did. And he described one time at our summer place in Michigan, there's a very tall and very steep hill. The road goes up from the town of Frankfurt towards where our cottage is. And it's right next to a long bluff going right down into Lake Michigan. Sharp drop. The road goes up like this. And my father says as a boy he was riding up with his grandfather, my great-grandfather. He was riding up in his old Buick, 1923 Buick, up that road. And the engine died. And he said that car started rolling backwards near this sharp cliff. They could fall straight down into Lake Michigan and be killed. And my dad said that his grandfather, Charles Sheldon, said, well, it's in God's hands now. And he said that car went backwards right down that road and landed safely. And he started it up and drove right back up. It was that kind of faith. It was that kind of trust in God that meant he didn't panic in the most fearsome, life-threatening situation. And the same can be for us if we fear God and trust God in the most frightening, life-threatening situations, the greatest tragedies, the greatest heartache. You can be calm and not afraid. He can give you a peace that passes all understanding. Therefore, as Jesus said in Matthew 14 and 27, take courage. It is I.